It is not going to be possible to leave on the 31st of October.
Fulfilling that democratic decision is now urgent.
But it's not just no to a deal, it's no to everything.
What I've said is we'd use all the tools at our disposal.
The next Prime Minister. Here's a few underdogs who I didn't talk about in my last video, but who have since joined the Tory party leadership contest.
First of all, it's still incredibly important, Mr Deputy Speaker, that we remain living within our means. Countries that don't live within their means find that over time they aren't able to pay for any of those important public services.
Mark Harper. 7 MPs support this guy, more than the 2 women in the contest. But the bookies rate the women more highly than this guy, who they're expecting to drop out pretty soon. Mark Harper is a Remain voter who found his way into David Cameron's radar when he advocated parents of children with special needs the right to send their children to a non-mainstream school. Cameron, who had a disabled son, then made him spokesman for the armed forces. In 2015, he was described as Eurosceptic, but he campaigned to Remain. Harper has worked on a number of reform bills in the coalition government, such as the referendum to change the first past the post system, and the House of Lords reform bill, both of which failed. Harper has been Minister for Disabled People.
It's very clear now and very well understood that for most people, work is actually good for their health, particularly for those with a mental health condition. So getting people back into work is good, it's going to improve their health, and healthier workplaces and healthier employees are likely to lead more competitive businesses, and businesses that use the talents of everybody in society are likely to be better for our country. So I think it's one of those things where literally everyone wins from healthier workplaces.
Then Chief Whip, getting Parliament to successfully vote for the war in Syria. He stood by Theresa May's plan in 2017 to legalise fox hunting, stating that he doesn't see any problem with it. He was also Immigration Minister at the same time that he was employing a cleaner who didn't have the right to work in the UK.
I'm afraid the bit where I perhaps will make myself not popular with my colleagues is when I say that it is not going to be possible to leave on the 31st of October. I would love to. I voted in Parliament to leave on the 29th of March. I voted to leave on the 12th of April. I voted against extending Article 50 twice. But not enough people in Parliament did so, and I'm afraid it is not credible to say you can renegotiate the Withdrawal Agreement and get it through both Houses of Parliament by the 31st of October.
Like everyone else, Mr Harper would try to renegotiate the Irish backstop and get a deal to pass through Parliament. Although unlike everybody else but Gove, Harper is willing to extend for a short, limited extension beyond October the 31st.
Genuinely, I feel being a mum means you have a very real stake in the future of our country, a tangible stake. You know, I mean, she possibly has nieces, nephews, lots of people, but I have children.
Andrea Leadsom. With just 5 MPs supporting her, she doesn't have much of a chance of gaining the support of Parliament, although the bookies fare her better. What scuppers Andrea's chances most is that she supported May and her withdrawal agreement until the 11th hour. Leadsom, a Leave voter, has long campaigned for EU reform. On the bill for gay marriage rights, she abstained. Unlike Harper, Leadsom is strongly against fox hunting and is pro-choice for abortion. She opposes wind farms and EU renewable energy targets. Of course, she caused the most controversy in 2016 when she implied that her having children and Theresa May not having children made her the better candidate.
Mr Speaker, the House will know that recess dates are always announced subject to the progress of business. In this unique session of Parliament, and in light of the significant decisions taken by the House this week, it is only right that I give the House notice that there are currently no plans to bring forward a motion to agree dates for the February recess, and that the House may therefore need to continue to sit to make progress on the key business before the House.
As Leader of the House of Commons, she's drawn criticism from the Speaker for failure of the government to advance the cause of proxy voting for pregnant MPs. She's had to support the cancellation of MPs' holidays as well, which won't go down well amongst her MPs.
Now, I campaigned passionately for the UK to leave the EU, and I continue to believe that a superb future awaits us. But the truth is that over the last 3 years, politics has failed dismally. It has failed to deliver on the biggest democratic decision in our history. Fulfilling that democratic decision is now urgent and vital. It cannot and will not be put off any longer. Leaving the EU on the 31st of October is, for me, a hard red line.
Leadsom doesn't completely rule out a second Scottish referendum. She has a 3-step plan for a managed no deal on the 31st of October, including asking the EU to grant the rights for UK citizens living on the continent and other sensible legislation measures between the UK and the EU. Secondly, she wants to ramp up preparations for a no deal. And thirdly, she wants to have measures for the Northern Irish border.
The hedgehog is a creature that appears on cylinder seals in Sumeria, bent backwards on the prow of Egyptian ships. The hedgehog is, of course, a famous medicinal task taken by the Romani people for baldness, and it represents a symbol of the resurrection found throughout Christian Europe.
Rory Stewart. With 7 MPs supporting him, Rory is another not very well known face and will probably struggle in this competition, although his fresh face could also prove a benefit to him. A Remainer, Stewart opposes rural wind farms and supports broadband and mobile coverage. Stewart introduced the plastic bag tax, which paved the way for 10p carrier bags.
An idea that you might, in pursuit of some illusion, or to take the words of the Honourable Member, some selfish or pernicious reason, fight always for country and for Queen, regardless of the justice of the cause. That would, of course, be an absurdity. It was an absurdity when this debate was first held in 1933. It's an absurdity when this debate is held again in 2013.
He has a wide range of experience and has undertaken many roles in Parliament. He's a romanticist. Romantic Rory is in favour of the monarchy and farming. He's in favour of the common agricultural policy, but there's something about his personality which tells me he won't be that strong when put head to head in a debate with other contenders, although we've yet to hear him debate.
No deal. But it's not just no to a deal, it's no to everything. It's no to Europe. It's no to trade. It's no to Parliament. It's no to reality. And we're not a no country.
Rory understands Parliament won't accept no-deal Brexit. He even supports Labour if they try to do that. He says any renegotiation by other candidates is misleading, and there's no hope of getting a new deal by the 31st of October. Instead, Rory has supported the existing Withdrawal Agreement, accepting that it has faced defeat in the past, but also assuming the only way to get Brexit done is by getting Parliament to agree a deal, and the only deal is the existing one, backstop included.
Mr. Speaker, while speaking in Parliament in answer to questions on the NAO report into universal credit, I mistakenly said that the NAO had asked for the rollout of the universal credit to continue at a faster rate and to be speeded up. In fact, the NAO did not say that, Mr. Speaker, and I want to apologise.
Esther McVey. With 6 MPs supporting her, Esther McVey is a little bit too hardline and extreme for some, but she is a fresher face, which could play in her favour. McVey is a bit of a bad girl in Parliament. She's been in trouble in the past for tweeting during a Hillsborough memorial service. She misled Parliament over universal credit. She has said poor families only use food banks because they prioritise mobile phone use over food. She even lost her seat between 2015 and 2017.
They may lose their PIPs.
Now, no, because we're specifically recognising it under PIP, which was not done before DLA. So you're coming up with...
Are you saying that nobody's going to lose their DLA?
No, what?
You're saying that everyone who's on DLA is going to get their PIP, so there's no issue here. Nobody needs to worry.
What we are saying is it had grown by nearly 40% in 10 years, and we're measuring the growth.
What happens to people who lose their payments?
When they lose their payments, we have decided, it has been decided on the assessment, that they no longer need that extra money that would be there for people to help with. So what are they supposed to do?
Just go without?
No. Because this money you get, whether you're in work or out of work, and it is there to cover the extra costs of your disability.
Exactly.
So
although she did expose John McDonnell, who said he would lynch her.
Parliament is very likely to vote down any government taking us towards no deal. That's where they are at the moment. Would you suspend Parliament during sort of late September and October in order to get out with no deal if you had to?
That wouldn't be my priority. I wouldn't be looking to do that, no.
But if you had to, would you?
But what I've said, hang on a second, Andrew. What I've said is we'd use all the tools at our disposal, because what we have seen...
But that includes proroguing Parliament, doesn't it?
What we have seen by MPs going against the democratic vote of the country, they have torn up 400 years of history.
McVey does not believe the Irish backstop should ever have been agreed to, and is therefore prepared for the UK to leave the EU without a deal. She has said she would use proroguing Parliament within her toolkit if she was forced to ensure the UK leaves the EU by the 31st of October. So who do you think would make the best Prime Minister? Join in the debate below and subscribe.